It's Bob Filka here for the Friday Finish, the week of April 10th. It's been a busy week, and we had some good news, a little victory for the HBA of Michigan this week when we heard that the proposed Michigan Energy Code rules, which would raise the cost of a new house by a minimum of about $5,000 per house, has been withdrawn by the Whitmer administration. We objected to the rules that were presented because the rules did not address the 7-year payback requirement in state law. Your state association got a law passed a couple decades ago that said for every new energy efficiency requirement in the code, it's got to have a 7-year payback or better. We objected on those grounds. We believe because of those objections, the department withdrew the rules, and they are going to have another public hearing, and will bring the rule set forward later this year. But score one for the HBA this week on that. We also have had a great call earlier today with the Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader. Dawn Crandall's going to give you a little update on that. Dawn.
Thanks, Bob. As was just mentioned, we had a great conversation with our first leaders of the legislature for 2023. For those of you not familiar, that is where we bring in Republicans and Democrats to have an honest and open conversation about the issues impacting our industry. And this morning, we were very fortunate to have Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brinks and Speaker of the House Joe Tate joining us. We had great conversation on the Housing Michigan Coalition and the TIF bills that are moving through the House as we speak, and then other items that we're looking at in terms of some appropriations asks, and have let them know that we will also be sending our housing agenda over in the near future to them as well. Greatly appreciate their support of housing and their recognition that housing is a very important piece of the puzzle of Michigan's economy as we move forward. We are working to get the leaders of the Republicans in the House and Senate to join us as well, Matt Hall and Senator Eric Nesbitt. And we are also working on getting the majority and minority chairs and vice chairs of the Housing and Human Services Committee in the Senate, and the chairs and minority vice chair of the Housing Subcommittee in the House to continue these conversations. So look for those in the near future. As I mentioned, the TIF bills, Senate Bill 129, 130, 131, and 132. Last week I mentioned that 129 went to one committee and the rest went to tax policy. I'm pleased to announce that with help from the Speaker's office, those bills are now in the same committee, and we expect a hearing on those next week, and then hopefully passage out of committee the following week. We were also in committee this week opposing Senate Bill 14, which would allow the state to go stronger in the regulatory reforms than the federal level, be stricter. We oppose that. We have always opposed that, and we'll continue to watch. Those bills are still in committee, but if things hold true, they'll probably move out next week. As being in committees, you can guess the legislature's back, and they are now moving into budget mode. We have a couple appropriations asks in ourselves through the Housing Michigan Coalition and also through Skill to Build. And it's just going to be a beautiful weekend, so I hope you can enjoy the warm weather.
And that's a wrap for the Friday Finish. Have a great weekend, everyone.